number of ways. It's that important. But I think if we tie it to something larger and something that really we'd like our kids to know, that's going to help. And so let's go back to the original definition of the meter, where this is the world. You have lines of latitude and lines of longitude, and you have something called the prime meridian, which was fought over by many, many people, where it would go through the starting point as you go around the planet, either west or east, where longitude goes from 0 to 180 west and 0 to 180 east, and latitude, the ladders go from 0 to 90 north and 0 to 90 south. That you'll get, you had, it'll come back again, but let's look back to the meter. My presumption is they wanted to have something that was tied to something they've used in the past to some degree, so the yard was a very typical unit, which we still use. We have the mile is, 1760 yards, the 440 yard, 440, the 440 yard dash, or I don't know if that's a sprint or not. So they decided that if they were French, they're not going to use the Greenwich mean. They're not going to use the prime meridian. They're going to use a line that goes from the North Pole, and again, the North Pole, which you're looking for, is not the magnetic north. It is the North Pole, the axis of spin of the Earth. They're going to draw a line from the North Pole along the surface of the Earth to the equator, and they're going to call that 10 million meters. All right, so that was the definition of the meter. So let's take that and use it. Let's understand that that may seem like not an important number or too big to grab, and we're going to grab the other one in a second. But that lets us know that if we go around the Earth from the North Pole through Paris, maybe to Dakar, I don't know what's on the prime or on that same meridian there, we can look, and then continue down to the South Pole and then back up, you'll get something like that. You'll actually get something, it turns out to be, that will be something in the order of 20,004,000 meters. So they were 4 kilometers off. All right, so that's the basis of the meter. Now, why do we grab that? Because really at this point then, along with some other discussion of the circle, there is little excuse to not be able to not only know this, but explain it to others so that they grab it as well. Now, you might be in Liberia or Burma where you don't need to use this, but I think Liberia and Burma will have to come along as well as soon as the U.S. goes to the metric system. And fundamentally in science, we have to be able to work in both sets of units. It is what we call a redundant set of computations. So, around the planet is how my daughters are remembering this, and they're just remembering it's 40 million meters around the planet. It's not perfect, but it's close. The other one that we learned back in, I think it's taught in the curriculum around 4th to 5th grade, is that there are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. And that is exact. All right. So if you grab what a meter is by definition, and then also go to 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch, that ties you to the real standard basis of what is a meter. Thanks for listening.